the filming Daniel.
Hey guys, it's Daniel here. Now, today I'm going to review a movie. What? What? What are you laughing at? Go on. I like a joke next words than next. What? You're laughing at what I'm wearing right now? Dude, it's just a Hawaiian shirt. Look. Style. Why the hell am I wearing it? Well, I guess since the movie, since I have a bit of style now and again, I thought I'd get dressed up and stylish for this video. What? You think it looks silly? Well, it can be as silly as it wants. Oh, I see. You don't think I can get through this video with this shirt on, do you? Why not? I'm going to show you. Because today, I'll be getting through a movie that has been stylish. And, of course, it's my new Marvel Cinematic Universe review. Again, sorry for the delay. I'm trying to get back into the phase. Oh, I get it. Phase, because Phase 4 of Marvel. Yeah, let's just forget about that. But today, I'm going to be reviewing the new Thor film to hit the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thor, Love and Thunder. So, let's get through this review with this nice of shirt on. I can get through it. So the plot of Thor, Love and Thunder follows our buddy Thor after the events of Avengers Endgame, who has now joined the Guardians of the Galaxy and has gone on many kinds of adventures through the galaxy, defending the galaxy. 3 times I said galaxy. However, Thor discovers something very dangerous to the gods. So now he has to go off on his own, split from the Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Guardians of the Galaxy are left out of the rest of the movie. That sucks. The ending of Avengers Endgame was kind of for no reason. But along with trying to find out what's going on, he comes across a familiar face. His old flame, Jane Foster from the first Thor films, who somehow has the power to carry Mjolnir, the hammer. Yep, Mjolnir is fixed and is in the hands of Jane Foster. How? Well, we'll have to find out, along with trying to defeat Gore, the God Butcher. So, I guess before I talk about my thoughts on this Thor film, I should probably get into my feelings about the last few films. Now, I haven't seen them, in a while, but I'll just go through what I remember from my last experience watching the first 3 Thor movies. The first one, I really liked. I thought it was really good. It has some of the best visuals ever, and the introduction of the character was very good. The second one, The Dark World, I thought was pretty good as well. I mean, I don't know whether or not it's better or worse than the first movie, but it was pretty good. Third one, really liked. It was funny, it was entertaining, it was action-packed, it had some of the best visuals, and the whole crossover between Thor and the Hulk was very great as well, so really liked Ragnarok. But then we have Thor, Love and Thunder, and just like any other Thor film, I thought it was pretty good. Okay. Not the best though, although depending on what people have said about this movie, I can kind of see where they're coming from, but, it's, from what I got, it was pretty good. The best thing about the movie, hands down, has to be its look. My god, this has to be some of the best visuals in a Marvel Cinematic Universe film. The way they travel across the galaxy, the way that they come across different monsters and different gods, the look of the place where they go visit Zeus, the god, that looked really fantastic. And going along with the visuals are the action scenes, which are pretty good. I mean, some of them do come across as a bit of fluff, but most of them I thought were very exhilarating and had the visuals going well. I also have to give credit that when we do see the logo, that is a pretty sick looking logo. The music I found very interesting as well. It was very, it has a bit of retro, has some rock music. It includes Welcome to the Jungle at the beginning, which you might find cringy, but I don't know, I thought it was pretty cool. Now, I guess I will bring up the elephant in the room. This is probably the most comedic Thor film out of the 4. So the question is the film funny? Well, about 50% of it is funny. I mean, the other 50% I didn't find horrible, just wasn't as funny, but the 50% that I did like, I found it really, really funny. For example, I like how, since Thor was "Aw, Mjolnir, you went to Jane, but not me." I like how they kind of treat it as like a love triangle between Thor, Mjolnir, and his new battle axe, Stormbreaker. I like how he has a bit of a love triangle, and the Stormbreaker has a bit of a sentient side, which I'm gonna admit, I found pretty clever. I mean, it's like something you thought you'd never see in a Marvel Cinematic Universe film, but you know, there's still some creative decisions to make with that kind of subplot. And lastly, the acting and the characters were really good for the most part. Chris Hemsworth still does a fantastic job as Thor. You could tell he's really having a lot of fun hamming up his delivery, but also still keeping the tough nature of the Thor character that we know and love. Tessa Thompson was great as Valkyrie once again. What do I think of the return of Natalie Portman as Jane Foster? Well, I really don't know how to talk much about her character because I can't really remember if I thought she was a great character. I mean, I remember watching the first two Thor films and I thought she was okay. And in this movie, again, she's okay. She's a pretty good character. She has a pretty good reason for why and how she carries the battle axe, although not really utilised to the best of its potential, but still pretty good. And Natalie Portman handles that very well. She has a few funny moments, but she can also handle the serious moments when she needs to. And probably the one who kind of stole the show for me is Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. Yes, I just said it, Batman himself from the Dark Knight trilogy plays this character. And for about 70% of the time, he does come off as very intimidating and fierce. But at the same time, I'll go to that later, but when he does get it right, he does get it pretty right, and he does have some emotional moments where you do kind of feel sorry for him and you understand why he goes and does what he does. I also really liked the little cameo, like 5-minute cameo appearance of Russell Crowe as Zeus, the god, who has that lightning bolt as a weapon. I thought he really hammed it up and it seemed like he was having a bit of a ball playing this character. But yeah, I can understand why people does have some very controversial things to say about the movie, because while this film does have things that are really good, there's still some things that do kind of hold it down, and in some cases kind of really hold it down. My biggest problem with this film is the story. It just doesn't come off as that, like, interesting to like fully invest in. I mean, it has some elements, but for the most part it does kind of detract from the good that the film could have. And a few reasons for this is, one, some of the parts that I do really like aren't given much development, and two, this movie feels like a bit of a rip-off of Thor Ragnarok, the last Thor film. I mean, we have Thor defeating villains with a recognisable song for the beginning. They have to do that little play that they did in Ragnarok, except add Hela into the mix. Famous Marvel characters you think is going to be in a lot of the movie, turns out really not, because all the stuff that you set up from the last movie, they're just going to be in the first few minutes. Thor's buddies from the first two films, like Sith and the Warriors 3, are sidelined. The villain kind of feels like a mix between Malekith, I believe, from the second film, and Hela from the third film. The list goes on, it just feels like a bit of a rip-off of Ragnarok, plus it does have a little bit of a Avengers Infinity War kind of story where Thor has to use different weapons, and just, it's really hard not just to see this as just another Thor sequel. It doesn't feel like it's going for the extra mile to like be the next big installment, it's just another sequel in a franchise. I did say that 50% of the comedy is very good. On the other half of the level, yeah, I do have to say this feels like the one that tries the hardest to be funny out of all the other Thor films. Now, don't get me wrong, there have been moments in the past Thor films where they use comedy, but it's used sparingly. Even in Ragnarok, it still tries to have a bit of a backseat compared to the main story. In Thor Love and Thunder, the comedy just, like, mainly takes over the kind of story, because whenever we're trying to get to the story, it comes to a halt so that a character can tell a joke. In fact, one thing that this film has in similar to What If, the Marvel show, is that there are occasions where the comedy gets a bit too childish for a Marvel movie, especially the comedy that comes from these like giant goats that show up, and giant goats in a Marvel movie? Really? Are we really going there? I mean, they do have a few moments now and again, but why? they're like so out of context to a Marvel movie. My next big problem with the film deals with some of the characters in the film. Some of them were either good, but sidelined and not given to the best potential, or there are some that are very kind of insultingly sidelined that really makes you be like, what the hell happened? The ones I felt like they were kind of had a little bit of wasted potential was, first off, Jane. Now, don't get me wrong, I like her return. She has some of the best scenes in the film, and she does have a dilemma of her own. But that dilemma seems to kind of fade a little bit into the background to the point where you almost forgot that was even a problem, and sometimes you just forget the big impact that Jane is supposed to have in the movie because she almost feels a little sidelined and a little bit some parts, and you just don't feel that she had the potential a lot, and explanation as to how she can hold Mjolnir isn't given enough focus on them. And while I do like her relationship with Thor, when they first met, I thought this could be the part where they do have a bit of emotion when they first met, but it's really just turned into a joke until I don't know, probably the halfway mark. And the other character I felt was good, but not the best for potential, was Valkyrie. Again, Tessa Thompson, great, but again, she feels weirdly sidelined and in the background, where, again, you almost forget that she's even a part of the film. I mean, the movie could have done a great job at focusing on her life, being the head of this new Asgard, and talking about the struggles that she goes through, but again, they really kind of detract her from the back, and you felt it wasn't at the best potential that it could have had. And the characters that really made me annoyed, that got sidelined, and just the way that they end up treating them, was first the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, at the end of Avengers Endgame, it was heavily implied and shown that Thor was going to assist and accompany the Guardians of the Galaxy for the future of the MCU. And that got me really excited, oh my god, not even going to get more Guardians of the Galaxy now that they've come back from the snap? But now Thor is in the mix? I cannot wait to see these Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I cannot wait to see the new Thor film. I like to see how these characters are going to intertwine with their own stories. And I was interested to see how the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to pay some tribute to Thor Love and Thunder. And what do they contribute? Seriously. Yeah. They literally do nothing. Nothing. In fact, they're only in the first 15 minutes of the movie, and then they're then taken away, and we never see them again. They never come back. And, wow. Potential wasted. But I guess really, it's not really the potential it could have had, it's just that my problem with this is that then what is the purpose of that ending scene in Avengers Endgame? What is the point of Thor join the Guardians of the Galaxy at the end of Avengers Endgame? Why didn't he just stay in New Asgard? They could literally take that ending out and just show Thor being a better king to New Asgard and just skip ahead and just go along to this movie, but they brought the Avengers Endgame with them. They brought the Guardians of the Galaxy. This is honestly why I feel Avengers Endgame really should have been one of the last films in the franchise, because that could have been just the conclusion, and then this thing's an epilogue, but this epilogue doesn't really go anywhere. The other character that I felt really kind of got annoyingly sidelined was Sith. They really didn't do this character any favours, because I wanted her to have more focus in the past Thor films. In fact, in the third Thor film, she was completely left out. So I was interested to see when I heard that she was coming back for the future of the MCU, but I guess the last thing I will say in terms of some problems with the characters is that while Gore is a great villain, and he has a really creepy design and has some very creepy and menacing moments, there are occasions where he can get a bit, well, silly. He tries to add his own humour in the mix. It just feels kind of out of place with that design and the way he was supposed to come across, that when those moments came, he just came across as a bit silly, and maybe I can probably tell that Christian Bale might have been having a ball playing that role, but again, I felt like it could have been toned down a little bit. Overall, I thought Thor Love and Thunder was a pretty good movie. Not great, but good, but it could have been better. It had some great visuals, some great acting, and a few ideas that it could have handled, but it does have a bit of a habit of being a bit overblown and silly, and it's really hard not just to see this as another sequel in a franchise. But overall, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's good, not great, but good. So, what do you think of Thor Love and Thunder? Do you love it? Do you hate it? And what's your favourite Thor film? Let me know in the comment section below. Again, more videos to come. I know this was a pretty short review, but I'm just going to make it short, sweet, and to the point. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm Daniel, reviewing movies, TV shows, doing videos. Till then, peace out, man. Nothing like a good book. I did a Thor review with the shirt on.